Peace and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. As always, I'm Fro. I got my man Panero and my man DL with me on this football Sunday. We got week one popping off, and what it is? How you feeling, fellas? You know what I mean? We popping off. We had a Thursday and a Friday night game, Lords. Peace to y'all, man. It's always good to see you. It's extra special today because it is a football Sunday. It's always good to build with y'all on Sunday, but it is a football Sunday. As you can see, my mans and them, they got their paraphernalias on. You know what I mean? They got the low, they got the mafia popping off one time down. So UH, man, how you feeling right about now, man?
I feel damn good, man. You've been waiting a long time, about who knows, since in the February, whatever. Valentine's Day, somewhere around there, for this to go down. I'm excited, man. I love basketball. I played basketball, but football is a whole different thing, man. It's more of a cultural thing, especially with us. You know what I'm saying? We've been watching football since we was that high. Y'all boys playing for the vets. You know what I'm saying? And your brother was coaching. You know what I'm saying? So we tied in, man. And we've been watching football since O.J. Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It's good to see it, man. 50 years of this shit. Let's go.
Panero, what's up, my G? I see you ready. You got your gang face on. Before you go in, man, we're going to say salute. We're going to say cheers to week one, the football season, man, the NFL, man. Cheers to my guys and all my Bills Mafia people. As y'all can see, man, I'm a Die Easy Bill fan. So that's the reason why I ain't decked out. like my mans and them. I'm a Die Easy Bills fan. But Lord, how you feeling right now on this Sunday, man?
Well, shout out to the Mafia first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Bills Mafia in effect. Shout out to my man Don with the joint on. With the swing the joint, fam. Swing the joint. It's like he just got an interception and they can't even put it around his neck. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Man, this our year. I say it every year, but this our year, man. You know what I'm saying? Super Bowl or bust around here, man. And shout out to my cousin Chauncey Season Thompson out there. I know he down in Carolina. He repping the bill. 716 in the building.
Shout out to Cheech, man. Shout out to Cheech, man. So, yeah, it's good to see y'all. We all feeling real good. My mans and them, the whole town, Bills Mafia feeling good right now because the games has not kicked off, so we don't know what's going to happen. So next week we will come back and visit and see how boys felt about the mob and how they did and everything, man. But we're going to start cooking this soup up here today, man, and we got a lot to talk about on this episode. It seems, man, as we get closer and closer to the election, old Agent Orange, he's coming out and things are breaking for him. Judge Mashawn, man, granted this man a couple of weeks, not even a couple of weeks. He pushed it off a couple months because he was supposed to get sentenced within the next week or two. They done pushed that off until after the election. So I definitely want to talk about that, man. Also, man, in the state of California, they got tested. They got heated in the courts out there over this reparations bill that they trying to get in place. So we definitely want to talk about that, man.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? What's up with Vegas, man? You know what I'm saying? I sent y'all the text for the under, right? I'm like, yo, take that under 47. They gonna score exactly 47 points? Come on, man. I ain't with the salt and pepper. Push it, man. I want my cash. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with the push.
Listen, fam, I'm glad you brought it full circle because you know it's football season, and I'm going to show y'all a major reason of why it's football season. Hold tight.
No doubt.
Oh, so niggas gonna sit, niggas gonna sit right here and say he wasn't in. I swear to God, I'm done with the fucking NFL. Fuck you niggas, fucking y'all owe you money, you gotta get that shit in blood.
Word.
You better have that fucking switch on you. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Y'all gonna, I'm fucking done. Yo, this shit is fucking crazy. And you smiling. The fuck is funny?
Word.
Fucking funny, yo. Yo, this shit don't make no fucking sense, yo. Every fucking year, yo. Every fucking year.
That's That's how you know football season is back with boys.
Man,
Just losing.
Get it in blood. If I see you, better have that switch. What he said.
Yo, shout out to Bubba Dub too, man. He gonna become trash. He gonna be coming at boys with that trash too soon, man.
Man, incredible.
Oh my goodness. He said, "What the fuck is funny? What you smiling about, man? What's going on, man? That shit is hilarious. It's funny, but not funny.
It is funny.
I feel that.
Man, listen. As they say, gamble wisely.
Gamble wisely. Yes.
That's a hell of a joint to hit you with after you hit the button.
Come on,
Gamble
man.
wisely. You know what I'm saying? But as we continue on this episode, as we get closer and closer to the election, man, I look at VP Harris and what she's doing right now with Coach Walsh, man. They moving and shaking. I'm going to show y'all a clip of Harris out and about, moving and shaking, and the effect that she had on this person. And it was like, that shit right there, that only happens every once in a while. That ain't no every time or every year occurrence. But what I'm getting at is, man, they got a lot of stuff with them, man. And who I'm talking about is the mainstream media. You look at how they was talking about Joe Biden, right? He can't string together a sentence, or his mouth is always agape, or whatever they could. They was saying that Joe Biden was too old for the job. And we've seen Joe Biden get up there and be able to put his words together so that you can understand what the hell he's saying. You know what I mean? It may not flow like you or I right now, but at least you could say, okay, I know what he was trying to say at the end of the day. So this week with the Kamala Harris files is code switching. It was the code. She was talking this way at a Carolina rally or a Philadelphia rally, and she was talking a different way at a Pittsburgh rally. You know what I'm saying? And as Black folks, man, let's be serious. The three of us do not talk like we're talking to each other the way we do in our places of business. Let's be serious about that. As far as vernacular, all the words that you choose to use when you're talking, you change it up when you're in your place of business.
Of course.
And this week, that was a big thing. Oh, she code switching. I'm like, come on, man. And again, it's us who is trying to throw it out there in the game. Oh, she code switching. She talking like this in Pittsburgh, and she talking like this in Philly. So, man.
So what?
Is the bottom line, we've all heard the phrase, meet people where they are.
Right.
We've all heard that phrase, man. And that's what I say, her movement is a movement right about now. And they don't have anything of substance to come at her with. And this is a type of ish. Last month is she wasn't black, but now she black and she code switching. Right. So now, you know what I mean? They adding shit to the soup. Let me chop off some carrots over in here, some onions.
Just throwing it in the soup, bouillon cubes and shit.
Yeah, man. When you hear that, Don, they talk about she's code switching. What?
My thing is this, man. Come on. All right. Obviously, they're reaching for something and they're grasping nothing. Like you said, 3 weeks ago it was what? Her laugh. That didn't work. 2 weeks ago it was, is she black? That doesn't work. Last week it was the code switching. That's not going to work. They're grasping at straws. Even us, the people who choose to be dumb, deaf, and blind to the situation, who make her, who have things critical to say about her, they really don't have anything solid to say. So I look at it as another attempt to try to grasp at anything to try to make it her less appealing. But that's just not the case when democracy and the AKA instead of a KKK is really the choice. It's really not. I don't care what she says, how she says it, whatever the case may be, because Donald Trump has clearly said in plain English that you don't have to vote anymore if I win, that I'm going to deport 15 million people. You know what I mean? That he's going to follow this agenda, that they're going to have unlimited drilling. They're going to fuck up the ecosystem. They're going to give more tax breaks. They're going to give tariffs. Now they're talking about tariffs. And so people don't, when you talk about tariffs, say for instance, D, right? Say for instance, you're China, right? So I'm like, D, you know what? Every time you send something over to my crib, I'm charging you an extra $5. What you know what I'm going to do?
I'm going to raise the prices.
You can raise the prices
price.
to reflect that, right? So you still make the profit margin, right? And then you're going to do what? When I send stuff to you, you're going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Man, you better pay this extra $5.
Come on,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? So it's basic economics, man.
Simple.
I don't understand it. I really, like I say, it baffles me every week that this guy is still actually around in a viable potential candidate for president of the United States when we've got someone who was clearly better, and we're going to see that on Tuesday night.
And you think about this, Lord, and I'm coming to you. As I said, that they don't have anything. I'm flipping yesterday, and I land on this Smirkanish cat on CNN, and he says she has to articulate to me what her policies are, right? Is he talking about policies? Have you heard Trump speak and try to articulate his policies?
Oh, yeah. They actually asked him about childcare and what piece of legislation are you going to use specifically for childcare and how expensive it is. Man, he went into a psycho-babble rant, man.
The weave.
No,
remember he said it's a weave. He was weaving.
Oh, they even asked his VP. His VP was like, yo, ask your grandma and your uncles and them to get involved to help you pay for it. That was his answer.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that, Lord, because I got that for you.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Hey, wow.
And the final question, Resma, is to you.
Thank you. President Trump, you talked about how the increase in the price of food, gas, and rent is hurting families. But the real cost that's breaking families' backs and preventing women from participating in the workforce is childcare. Childcare is now more expensive than rent for working families and is costing the economy more than $122 billion a year, making it one of the most urgent economic issues that is facing our country. In fact, the cost of childcare is outpacing the cost of inflation, with the majority of American families of young children spending more than 20% of their income on childcare. One thing that Democrats and Republicans have in common is that both parties talk a lot about what they're going to do to address the childcare crisis, but neither party has delivered meaningful change. If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
I would do that, and we're sitting down. I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue, but I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, childcare is childcare.
Wait, let's go back.
What numbers?
Again, the thing is, when he say childcare is childcare. So, you know, when somebody asks me a question, I'm gonna say the shit back. Somebody asks, Les, what time it is? What time is it? I'm gonna say, time is time. You know what I'm saying?
It's time.
The time is the time.
It's time.
It's Morris Day.
To prioritize legislation to make childcare affordable. And if what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
I would do that, and we're sitting down. I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue, but I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, childcare is childcare. Couldn't you have to have it in this country? You have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take, we're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country. Because with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be getting in trillions of dollars, and as much as childcare is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're failing.
Check this out, fellas. So first of all, child care is child care, and it's not that expensive. So let me.
You know what's wild about this though? I actually understood what he was saying. He was basically saying he's going to raise, like we said earlier, tariffs high to the point where it's going to offset the cost of childcare. I don't understand how those two correlate.
They don't. Because the thing about tariffs is
the questions. First of all, he said, "I would do that."
Right.
He asked him a question of how he would help or make a change or something to help childcare and expensive. He said, "I would do that." So, all right, real quick.
And preventing women from participating in the workforce is childcare. Childcare is now more expensive than rent for working families and is costing the economy more than $122 billion a year, making it one of the most urgent economic issues that is facing our country. In fact, the cost of childcare is outpacing the cost of inflation, with the majority of American families of young children spending more than 20% of their income on childcare. One thing that Democrats and Republicans have in common is that both parties talk a lot about what they're going to do to address the childcare crisis, but neither party has delivered meaningful change.
There's one more way I will help families deal with rising costs, and that's by letting you keep more of your hard-earned money. Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, and we will do this by restoring 2 tax cuts designed to help middle-class and working Americans: the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit. Through which millions of Americans with children got to keep more of their hard-earned income. We know this works and has a direct impact on so many issues, including child poverty. It works. So as president, I'll not only restore that tax cut, but expand it. We will provide $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life. Now think what that means. Think what that means. That is a vital year of critical development of a child. And the cost can really add up, especially for young parents who need to buy diapers and clothes and a car seat and so much else. And we will do this while reducing the deficit. Compare my plan with what Donald Trump intends to do. He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts year after year. And he plans to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion, even as they pull in record profits. And that's on top of the $2 trillion tax cut he already signed into law when he was president. Right. Which, by the way, overwhelmingly went to the wealthiest Americans and corporations and exploded the national deficit.
Fellas, we sit up here, right, Sunday after Sunday and build and try to keep it 100. We don't disagree. We don't agree on everything, and there's things that we disagree on. But here it is, just that compared to what Trump said to basically the same question is what, Lord?
It's extremely obvious unless you're a racist misogynist. If you're a racist and a misogynist, it doesn't matter what she says. You're going to vote for Trump anyway. You're going to vote against your own interests because you're a racist and a misogynist. Even if you're in the middle class, and her plan will benefit you. Her plan is clear and concise. Who is the old person in the race now? You know what I'm saying? What's the psychobabble all about? Where is the media when pointing out the fact that he can't really put too many sentences together? Now, like Don said, he mentioned tariffs and he tried to bring it in together. But the only thing tariffs is going to do is raise the prices of everything and kill the farmers that are here. He's done that before. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. She makes sense. I don't understand what people are looking at or what they're listening to, other than the fact that they don't want a woman president and they don't want a black woman president. It's just that simple. If you vote against her, you're voting against your own interests, especially as a middle class, if you're in the middle class.
Now, as we look at the two, and as we continue on the soup, man, P, tell the people what we need them to do, Lord.
Man, we need you to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know if we full of shit or not. We don't care. We have thick skin. We 716, all three of us.
Man,
hit that notification bell too.
No doubt. Hit the notification so you know when we coming up.
There you go. So you know when that soup is coming off the stove. So as we look towards Tuesday night when we got the debate, and they're already saying, they're already putting a spin on it, that Kamala needs the debate more than Trump. Like, they already got Trump bullshit baked in. So whatever he does or whatever foolishness or psychobabble he spews out, that's just Trump being Trump. And Kamala Harris has to be of and beyond everything. When you look at this debate, who do you think needs it more?
Yo, in the great words of Clubber Lang,
pain.
It's gonna be pain on Tuesday night. And it's crazy because I got a Zoom court on Tuesday night at 6. So hopefully I can be out of there and really catch the whole thing. I'm actually probably gonna leave work and come home early so I can get it, you know what I'm saying, do it off in the crib. But anyway, I really think that Kamala doesn't need it more, but I think she needs to show the American people her strength. And she needs to show, and she really needs to put him on trial. And then this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for somebody who will blast him, hold him to the truth, hold him accountable, point out the things specifically that he has done. She's going to prosecute him, dude. So I am waiting to see how far out of control he goes, because there's no way in the world that I think he's going to stand up there and let a black woman just smack him around for an hour or 90 minutes, however long the debate is, because that's basically what's going to happen if it's going to be a debate based upon what we've seen as far as vocal gymnastics, policy, vocabulary, issues. Trump doesn't stand a chance against her. So I'm anxious to see how bad it's going to be and the reaction that people have the next day. Because like you said, D, if at this point, especially after Tuesday, because I know what's going to happen, but if at this point you decide to roll with this 45 dude, you're a straight racist and misogynist, because this is going to be ugly.
Man, listen, I'm here for it. I'm front row and center, gonna have my popcorn. And I, like you, UH, will be on my way to the building too. But I mean, I'm gonna catch it for whenever I'm able to dive in. That's when I'll dive in and catch up on it. What you think though, Lord? When they talk this, that it's more Kamala Harris, she has to look presidential, she has to come off presidential and this, that, and the third. What do you think?
First off, the media has been full of shit for a while. You know what I'm saying? To try to put that spin on it. But he's gonna lie. We know he's going to lie. And lies are louder than the truth. So what she has to do is fuck the high road, go after his ass.
Yep, go after.
He questions her. She was Indian. Now she's black. Which one is she?
Right.
She should hit him with, I'm the black that you wouldn't let into your apartments in the 70s. That's the black I am. You know what I'm saying? She has to hit him with, don't fuck the high road. Go low. Because he's going to continue to go low. And he's going to go with the greatest hits. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he said about Biden, he just took a little sticky note and took Biden's name out and put her name in, because there's no creativity as to what he's doing. It's straight WWF with him. And she is going to destroy him, because Don said she's going to prosecute him. You know what I'm saying? This guy has been on the Epstein list 64 times. Come on, man. He got 34 felonies. When he's in court, he took the fifth 97 times. Get at this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? And she'll get at him. I know she will.
He's a crook. And it's crazy. You said in the beginning, they try to nitpick and say this. I laugh when they try to say that, oh, she's not smart. I'm like, man, come on, man. Look at what she did. She graduated from Howard, then she went to law school, passed the bar, DA, to attorney general, to senator, to VP. She's the most qualified person ever to really run for the office of the president. If you look at her career record, if we keep it at 1,000, before we move on, man, let's show some of Kamala Harris' work.
Senator Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Barr, has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone?
I wouldn't.
Yes or no?
Could you repeat that question?
I will repeat it. Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else?
Seems you would remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest. There have been discussions of matters out there that they have not asked me to open an investigation, but
Perhaps they've suggested,
I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest.
hinted.
I don't know.
Inferred.
You don't know. Okay.
Listen, man, she ain't no joke when it come down to that mouthpiece. Now, let's keep it real. Most sisters ain't no joke when it comes to the mouthpiece. And then you got somebody who's educated, you know what I'm saying, and is up on her facts. It ain't no beating that. You might as well just go ahead and just lay on down. And if Trump, I believe she's ready to blast him. And if Trump come out there and be on his normal stuff, he gonna get blasted right there on the stage, Lord.
Yeah, he don't have nothing else, man. It's like she gonna go on her Alvin against Claire Huxtable. It's not. You can't win. You cannot win against her, B. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And most sisters, they have that mouthpiece, like you said. And behind it, she has the education and the experience of a politician. When has Trump ever been elected to do anything for anybody other than the presidency? He has no other political experience. You know what I'm saying? She was elected in California. California is huge. It could be its own country. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Fourth largest economy in the world.
Thank you. You just took the words right out of my mouth. That's why you my done. You know what I'm saying? Is the fourth largest GDP in the world. Out there. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing though. You know what I mean, Lord? They try to insult our intelligence by trying to tell us that she's not intelligent. Here she is flying hibachiing. She's hibachiing AG right in front of us, man, in front of the world. And they want to talk about she couldn't go walk in a room with Putin or name them, that she couldn't walk in there and be like, yeah, this is me and this is what we gonna do. You wait.
I think that, yeah, man, it's funny because they always have something to say. And she is more like you. I was actually just thinking about that when you broke that down about her being one of the most qualified candidates. She actually has more elected offices than Barack. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So she has been the choice of the people at every level that she's been at. And yep. she deserves it. And honestly, man, I cannot wait till she gets her hands on this dude because there ain't gonna be no way for him to twist, the turn. I'm telling you, this is the Don Wild prediction for the debate, right? She's gonna frustrate him so much that he's gonna call her a nigger bitch.
He better not. Yes.
That would be.
He's gonna be thinking it the whole time.
I'm telling you, he's gonna go off the rails, dog. She's gonna jam him up, man. And I'm really looking forward to it because she has the experience. She has, like I said, she has the verbal gymnastics, and he really doesn't have anything to stand on. So if you are, if that's why he was avoiding it for so long, because if you're a clear thinking person, if you're thinking clear, and you just put those two side by side, his mans won't even run with him. No. His mans from last time won't even run with him. You got mad people coming out saying, no, I don't fuck with this kid. Yo, what's his name gets rolled over him? Oh, what's his name? Cheney.
Attorney General Sessions.
So yeah. Cheney, yeah. Oh, shoot him in the face. Cheney even said he is more gangster than I am. Right. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Right, exactly. You know that's the type of time Dick Cheney is on right now. But let me give y'all this one, man. Some more greatest hits.
Dick Cheney, that's crazy. Oh.
You have several times this afternoon prefaced your responses by saying, to the best of your recollection. Just on the first page of your 3 pages of written testimony, you wrote, nor do I recall, do not have recollection, do not remember it. So my question is, for any of your testimony today, did you refresh your memory with any written documents, be they your calendar, written correspondence, emails, notes of any sort?
I attempted to refresh my recollection, but so much of this is in a wholesale camp.
First of all, here we got the quasi-Klan leader, Jeff Sessions from Alabama.
Get his ass up out of there. I don't ever want to see him again.
She about to put him on the hibachi.
Thing of extraordinary nature that you're moving so fast that you don't keep notes. You meet people. I didn't keep notes of my conversation with the Russian ambassador at the Republican
I'd like
convention.
To just talk about what you did.
I'm just saying I didn't keep notes on most of these things, and there's nothing for me.
Will you provide this committee with the notes that you did maintain?
As appropriate, I will supply the committee with documents.
Can you please tell me what you mean when you say appropriate?
I would have to consult with the lawyers in the department who know the proper procedure before disclosing documents that are held within the Department of Justice.
Attorney General
I'm not
Sessions.
able to make that opinion today.
Sir, I'm sure you prepared for this hearing today, and most of the questions that have been presented to you were predictable. So my question to you is, did you then review with the lawyers of your department, if you as the top lawyer are unaware, what the law is regarding what you can share with us and what you cannot share with us, what is privileged and what is not privileged?
We discussed the basic parameters of testimony. Frankly, have not discussed documentary.
This is a serious fucking lady, man. I better quit fucking playing, man.
Closure rules.
Will you make a commitment to this committee that you will share any written correspondence, be they your calendars, records, notes, emails, or anything that has been reduced at any point in time in writing to this committee where legally you actually have an obligation to do so?
I'll commit to reviewing the rules of the department and when that issue is raised to respond appropriately.
Did you have any communications with Russian officials for any reason during the campaign that have not been disclosed in public or to this committee?
I don't recall it, but I have to tell, I cannot testify to what was said as we were standing at the Republican convention before the podium where I spoke.
My question is only as
don't
it
have the
relates to your
detailed
knowledge.
memory of that.
Okay, as it relates to your knowledge. Did
best
you
of
have
my-
any communication with any Russian businessmen or any Russian nationals?
I don't believe I had any conversation with Russian businessmen or Russian nationals.
Are you aware of any
Although a
communication?
lot of people were at the convention, it's conceivable that somebody
Sir,
came
I
up
have
to me.
just a
Will
few.
you let me qualify it? If
Okay.
I don't qualify it, you'll accuse me of lying. So I need to be correct as best I
I
can.
do want you to be
And I'm
honest.
not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
Are you aware of any communications with other Trump campaign officials and associates that they had with Russian officials or any Russian nationals?
I don't recall that
And are you aware of
at
any?
this moment.
Wow.
Trump, he gonna take a couple body blows. He might even get a kidney shot. You know what I'm saying? Because
Wildly off the rails. He's gonna go wildly off the rails, dog.
she ain't coming in there without some shit that she knows gonna make him turn red up in that jank, yo. You know,
Wildly off the rails.
and she was up there having your man Chef Sessions talk about, you make me nervous.
Sessions is wild. He said it was moving too fast for me to take note. I couldn't see through the hood. They didn't make the eyes big enough for me. Who made these hoods? I can't see through the hood.
Man, listen.
That's what he sound like to me.
And again, man, we talk about the celebs and them running to their platforms and spewing out bullshit and stupidity. They don't even take the time, and they don't even listen to DL when DL was like, I went out, not my man DL, the other DL, my other man's down the road, down it, DL Hughley. When DL be out there talking about, I spewed a lot of bullshit and I didn't do the
research. Good.
And a lot of these folks here not doing the knowledge. And you heard even that, that goes back a couple years when she was grilling Sessions. She wasn't even VP then. She was just Senator Harris from the great state of California at the time, right? Crazy that they think that she is not on top of her game, and they don't do the research, because like they were saying in that with Sessions, still talking about the Russians. They popped Russian cat this week with the propaganda that they flooding the Twitters and the Facebook, getting our people caught up with propaganda, and they running out and spewing it to the masses. Like Tyrese, oh, I didn't mean, y'all thought I was serious. Yeah, you raising that head ass.
Up to Putin. Putin actually endorsed Kamala this week. You know that, right?
I heard that.
Yeah, he did.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Kind of tongue in cheek.
Anything to try to take a shot at her. But these Europeans nowadays, I can remember, I'm old enough to remember when we boycotted the 80 Olympics because they were in Russia, because we didn't get down with Russia. We all remember that, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
We saw when Drago killed Apollo Creed, right?
Oh, boy.
Where was Drago from? He was from Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a Russian. You said Red Dawn. Red Dawn.
See, that's why you my son. You took the words I was just about to say. They had the kids from the high school running down the street screaming Wolverines.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was up to the youth to get us back from the Russians. And now we got people, as you saw on last week's episode, Europeans talking about that they would vote for Putin.
For president of the U.S. Yeah.
When did Russians become our friends? I really don't understand that. And this is something that I did some research on a long time ago, probably about 2 years ago, actually. It's a simple fact that the whole goal of the Putin administration is to weaken Americans' belief in democracy. Right? The elections. What have they been pounding on? What's been a big issue? The ballots, the election, this, that, and the other. So forth. Exactly. Rigged, so on. They're trying to put that doubt in our minds, whereas for the previous 230 some odd years, there was never a question. Now this dude come in and lose, right? The first one out of all these elections we done had, out of all these presidents, black, white, from here, from there, You lose, and guess what? Now it's rigged.
Right.
Because you've been in cahoots with the Russians the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It's wild to me, man, that people just are willing to compromise American principles, American culture, American history, American traditions, literally. And I'm black, just like the rest of us is black here. I'm not no Star Spangled Banner motherfucker, but I'll tell you this, I know what the hell is going on here. And chilling with the Russians is not the way to go. Because we don't have no place in their society, zero, which is the same way that the Republicans are moving towards with the Project 2025. They're eliminating ethnic groups, they're eliminating immigration, they're cracking down on I told you my big thing is the police immunity, so that directly affects us and every other American. So they're basically going with the Russian playbook, and I don't understand when they became our friends. I'm not cool with it.
They haven't. It's the propaganda machine that has gone ahead and brainwashed these cats. They got plants like Charleston White and Dr. Umar and what's the chick name that's from down there that loved Trump and had her and they plants, yo. We've got extended family who's been overwhelmed with the propaganda out here. You know what I'm saying?
And they say a lot of the leaders of the MAGA movement are actually paid by Russia.
Exactly.
Of course.
Check this out, y'all. Check this out.
New sanctions now accusing Moscow of interfering in the presidential election already. Tonight, right here, you will see the alleged Russian propaganda allegedly at work here in the U.S. aimed at influencing voters. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, the Attorney General warning the American people that Russia interfere in this year's U.S. presidential election is intensifying. The Biden administration announcing new sanctions and charges, alleging that senior aides to Vladimir Putin are engaged in a sweeping operation aimed at supplying millions of Americans with disinformation.
We have no tolerance for attempts by authoritarian regimes to exploit our democratic system of government.
The government seized 32 bogus website domains purchased by Russian security services that mirror legitimate news sites, creating fake stories and using authentic-looking logos as part of a campaign called Doppelganger. For example, this looks like a story from the Washington Post about Ukraine, but it isn't. And also today, DOJ bringing charges against 2 employees of RT, also known as Russia Today, alleging the state-controlled media company funded by Russia is still at it after being forced out of the U.S. in 2022. The FBI saying it uncovered a scheme involving nearly $10 million laundered through a network of foreign shell entities to covertly fund a Tennessee media firm. That company posting nearly 2,000 videos on social media that have garnered more than 16 million views on YouTube alone. Administration officials say Russia's efforts were aimed at sowing divisions here at home, influencing Ukraine policy, and securing Russia's preferred outcome, re-electing Donald Trump.
So here's the thing, Lords. People get their news more so through Facebook, Crackbook, and Twitter and all that more so than they watch people on their horns more so than they're even watching TV. And they susceptible to it because they fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. We see it every day on the internet. I tell you all the time, I had to get off of Crackbook because of that foolishness. I'm like, yo, I can't. Y'all not gonna have my blood pressure up for foolishness, man. Especially when you family, and you talking foolishness and spewing foolishness, man. It's yo, inbox me because I don't want to be out here in the streets shooting shots. You know what I'm saying? And I could just imagine what Crackbook is. I logged off damn near 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So I can't even imagine the type of shit that goes on up and on there now.
It's out of control. And Don sometimes try to referee it. And I just look at it like, Don, you're going to have to just leave these dudes alone, man. It's not, they have no knowledge of any civics or anything. And they spew what they hear. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how could you be against your auntie? You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you be against your cousin that's running for president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? That's your family. That's your people. What's wrong with you? You know, what I'm saying? White people vote for white people all the time because they white. You're not gonna vote for auntie. You know what's wrong with you? You gonna go against her?
Start calling them niggas Vladimir and fucking Ivan.
What kind of black man is against a black woman? What kind of black man against a black woman? What would we do without our grandmas, our aunties? Come on, man. What is wrong with these cats, man?
Self-hated at his finest, man.
This is ridiculous.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, D, man, because what's crazy, I actually uninstalled Facebook. I still got it, obviously, my Facebook. But I uninstalled it from my phone because I just couldn't take it. I couldn't. I'll be looking at boys and being like, what did you just, and it just really makes my level of respect for them go down tremendously. You know what I mean? Really, you're a lot dumber than I took you for. You know what I mean? And I feel betrayed by giving the person, part of my time and my intellect and whatever, even my communication at that point, because I'm like, you dumb as fuck. We're not on the same page, bro. So you know what? I'm there. I'll use it for business if I have to use it for business, but I don't got that shit on my phone, man. I might log in that shit once a week just to check on notifications, log right. I can't do it, man. Like you say, Les, that shit was having me have my blood pressure up, and I'm getting upset. I'm really thinking about this in my normal life, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Some people have nothing but Facebook. That's all some people have is their little page and their comments, and some people use it for attention. Some people use it basically it's about attention, one way or another, however you want to put it. There's a varying degree of how much attention you want. And some people are willing to compromise their integrity for those attention, like we talked about before, for likes, for interaction. Some people are willing to be like that, and I'm just not. I'm sick of refereeing the fight, D. You know what I'm saying? I'm just walking out the ring. I'm letting these boys.
Sometimes it's needed though, Don. I'm like, thank you, Don, because my hand was twitching. Glad that somebody did something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's sometimes people, and you're surprised at the. I don't like to be mean, but you're surprised that some people are that ignorant. You're like, wait, I know this cat. I know he's not that stupid, but yeah, I guess that person is, or either they're just. Again, some people are just purposely contrarian, just because they want to be not like us and they want attention. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to, they feel like you're sheep, but they're not. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. But again, I digress.
Well, and we should send a link to the ABC News. The propaganda is working.
Man, it's
you know what I'm saying?
It's hilarious, dog.
It's crazy, man. And that's what I say. When it goes back to, again, people talking about she needs to articulate her policy. Whereas, like P said, Trump could not tell you directions to get nowhere.
Nowhere.
He couldn't tell you how to get from A to B. If you was talking, man, how do I get to Trump Tower from LaGuardia? He gonna tell you go all the way to Florida, all the way through North Dakota, all the way to Boston, and then back to New York. You know what I'm saying? He just cannot put nothing together. And the media is not blowing that shit up the way they did with Biden. And it wasn't to this point with Biden either. It was just basically his age is what it was.
And his physical appearance. That's what was getting Biden. He looked.
But this motherfucker Trump look old and can't tell you nothing except if I lose,
it's rigged. Yeah, and the stock market's gonna crash too. Yeah.
But he plugs it up with bluster. His real low energy. He's really low energy. If you think about it, he's only on the campaign trail once a week. I'm gonna be out there gangbusters and so on and so forth. That boy been out there like twice. So Montana. Oh, and he can't even go to a lot of cities because guess what?
He's a felon.
Got them felony convictions.
No, he owes them bread. He's not. He's not paying venues. He's not paying. That's why they be having rallies in cow fields and all that kind of nonsense. Because he owes them boys bread, man. He's a crook.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Lord. Thank you for that. Now these towns that he's rallying in, they're sundown towns.
Sundown. Yeah.
That this dude is
So
having
happen to be sundown towns, right?
just so happen to be sundown towns that he's playing his greatest hits in. This guy, Donald Trump, man, we all want to see him get some type of justice. We want to get justice for him, man, because he's like the face of privilege, of white privilege, if you ask me. And the reason why I say that is, man, because Mirshan in the city, man, gave this guy a pass. He's, like I said earlier in the rundown, he was supposed to be sentenced this month. Let's see what the hell Judge Mirshan is throwing him on.
Appearance, however unwarranted, that the proceeding has been affected by or seeks to affect the approaching presidential election in which the defendant is a candidate. Trump, meanwhile, continues to fight a $5 million civil judgment that found him liable for sexual abuse and defamation of magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll. The Republican presidential nominee attended an appeal hearing in the case Friday, where his attorneys argued the verdict should be tossed out because of inadmissible evidence. Later on the campaign trail, Trump received an endorsement from the Fraternal Order of Police in the battleground state of North Carolina.
I'll see again, man. The ism. Now, how the fuck could any police department across the United States endorse this cat after he fucking sent them motherfuckers to rain on the Capitol like that?
Right. Where some police officers actually died.
Right. How can you, with your good conscience, say, yeah, we with him when he sent people out to wreak havoc, man? But I digress. UH, are we ever going to see Trump face justice?
Real quick, all right, before I answer that, and remember North Carolina historically had the largest number of Klansmen in the South. So you have to keep that in mind. The fact that their police association endorsing Trump. Yeah, I think he's going to go to jail. But I think that what it's going to be, I think that the judge did the right thing because he really is giving, how should I put this? I think he did the right thing because what he's doing is he's not letting it affect the election to that extent, because potentially with some type of confinement, which is probably what he's going to get. I don't know if he's going to get prison, but he's definitely going to get some type of confinement. That could cause major civil unrest. We already know that our political system is fragile right now with these maggots out here. The potential for violence and for disruption of our process is there. And I think that it's a strategic decision. But that goes back to, on the other side of it, now this maniac is going to say every and anything to make sure that he wins, period. Because he knows that if he loses, it's going to be the worst month of his life. You know what I mean? He can't get away from Georgia. He can't get away from the sentence that he's got coming in New York. He can't get away from the federal trial. It's going to show that he's basically lost everything. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think that only because of the sake of the country, but that just shows that we have to really get out and vote. We really have to mobilize. We really have to vote. And we really have to put this dude away forever. I want him to have the worst November ever. That's my personal opinion.
He pushes it back to after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, okay. Hopefully, we all hope he loses, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes to sentencing. That's enough for him to hit the button. If he and then have to go face the courts for some type of sentencing, I think that's enough for him to hit the button to send the MAGA out. What you think, Lord? Is he ever going to face justice for real, man? Because they changing the game for this cat, man. And the privilege is great. The privilege is great with this guy.
I see Don's point with the civil unrest. I just feel, like I said in previous shows, I feel like Mirshan could have took this opportunity to lay the hammer on this cat, man. But that,
you want something to hammer, no doubt.
That's just my personal opinion. Now, not looking down the road in the future of the effects of it, Don was saying, I just wasn't looking that far. My thing is, man, nail this dude so Kamala can get into office. So it's more negativity with him. The trajectory of Kamala getting in would be, the percentages would be higher if he laid the hammer on him. But then I understand what you're saying, Don. It will cause a lot of unrest and it make it seem as if he's almost taking sides by doing it now. But I said this in previous shows. I'm like, is he going to prolong this? Is he going to be able to prolong this till after the election? And it looks like the privilege is working. You know what I'm saying? The bare face, I can do anything I want is working. So I could shoot somebody on a corner of Kerr and French and just stand there and get away with it. It's working.
You shooting boys on French and Kerr now?
French and Kerr in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's horrible, man.
I love, man, Sunday mornings with y'all, man.
French and Kerr taking it
incredible.
He's taking a tool to somebody and just standing there waiting.
At the store. Somebody in the store looking right at you. Come on.
And nothing happens? Come on, man. And the thing is, also, gentlemen, I saw earlier that the Republicans are trying to use Dred Scott as a way to not get her, for her not to be able to run for president, which is contradictory because they're saying she's not black. But she's black when you know what I'm saying? She's black for the Dred Scott ruling, but she's not black. Well, so which is it? You know
it's when it's convenient. It's when it's convenient, Lord.
Exactly.
It's when it's convenient. You know,
they're scared. They are scared.
They are running scared, fam.
They really shook up. But I told y'all I had a clip I wanted to show y'all to show that there is a movement out here. Let me show this with y'all real quick, man.
I'm protecting consumers. Understand?
Oh, it's gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We are all in this together.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna be fine.
We are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Huh?
Did you get some spices? Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We're standing strong. We love our country.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Who's this? Is this a relative of yours
No,
or just a new friend?
New friend.
Hi.
I'm a lawyer in Pittsburgh here, and I just admire your work so much.
What kind of law you practice?
Consumer protection.
Good for you.
I'm protecting
Good for
consumers.
you. That's the work I did as AG. That's good stuff.
Yes.
It's really good. Of course, come on. Come on.
Wow.
Someone take it. I did not get it. Can someone take it for me, please?
Who are the yellow jackets? Come here.
They're my school.
They're your school? What school is that?
Report.
Freeport. What's your name?
Charlotte.
Nice to meet you, Charlotte. I'm Kamala. Are you cooking also? What are you doing here? Or did you bring an adult with you? You're just hanging out.
How are you?
Can I have a hug?
Yes, come here. Of course. Oh. How's school going?
Wow.
What I'm saying, man, when the Europeans, you only can trust them as far as you can throw them, but when the Europeans get to getting emotional and all of that type of shit, when they see you, they move in a certain way, man. You know what I'm saying? When the real big homie came blowing through, you know what I'm saying? But it's needed, man, because Trump is a fuck up, man. And I will forever, for always, hold him responsible for my family over my shoulder, man.
No doubt.
Because, you know what I mean? If he handled that shit the right way, fam could be up here with us right now, pot. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, I will always hold that fucker responsible for that shit and the millions of other lives that were lost during that time. Absolutely. Before we close it up, man, and we are politicking heavy. We've been politicking heavy these 6 months or so because it's so necessary. Because the stakes is super high, man. You know what I mean? Shout to Daylight. The stakes is high. You know what I mean? And what's going down out there in Cali, man, the brothers and the sisters in the state Senate, on the state Congress, they pushing forward with the reparations bill out there, man. Let's go out to Cali real quick and jump into this.
The true nature of reparations, because at the core of the word is repair. Repair for the harm that has been caused.
Simply put, that is what the California Reparations Task Force has been studying for nearly 2 years.
I'm requesting a bit more further analysis.
The 9 members are developing the best way to mend the hurt to descendants of California slaves. But some Californians are frustrated with the process.
This is all Billy Bay in the building.
Boy, had a fez on.
Emotions, a red tape thing. Nah, man, come on, put something down. Put something on the wood right now. Oh, no, wait. Next meeting, a bunch of bull.
The task force listened to several hours of testimony over the past 2 days, much of it with strong emotions.
The whole entire system needs to be dismantled.
And suggestions on how to spend the $800 billion economists suggest would be needed for decades of over-policing, disproportionate incarceration, and housing discrimination.
Seems to me, free health care, free education, tax-exempt status, land allocation, and a check could have longevity.
The Reparations Task Force is the first of its kind in the country, mandated by state law to develop a plan to send to lawmakers ultimate approval.
The task force is very aware of the precedent that we're setting. The world is watching us, and I think that's where the pressure comes in.
Task Force Chair Camilla Moore debunks the argument that California was always a slave-free state and plans to send the final report to lawmakers this summer.
We brought those experts in to disrupt the myth around California not having any role at all in slavery. We learned very early on that California was free in name only.
In Sacramento, Michelle Bandur, KCRA 3 News.
Oh, reparations, man. I'm gonna come to you first, P.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think within our days while we're up and right, do you think that we will ever see reparations?
You know what? It's weird because, let me put it in layman's terms. If somebody whooped your ass for 400 years, just completely beat you down for 400, you know what I'm saying? And then they wonder why you're not able to pull yourself up. And then they're looking back at you saying that you're lazy because you can't pull yourself up, or you can't run the race because you done got beat down. You deserve to be repaired. This country has made their money off of free labor. Now, it's to a point now where I don't think we'll get it, and we should, because a certain portion of us, a small percentage of us, do have a great deal of money and wealth. Well, not wealth, but actual cash. And I think that people will point to those people, like, look at Oprah and look at these people. They have money, so everything should be fine. But that's not the case with all of us. So I think they'll point to those particular individuals and say, we shouldn't get it, and that's why we won't. But we do deserve it.
UH, do you think that we will receive, or we will see reparations before we cash in?
I hope so. Honestly, I'm going to say optimistic on that. To realize that once it happens in one state, and that's why I see the California process taking so long, is that they want to get it right, because they're going to set the precedent, and other states are going to be forced to follow at some point or another. It's just really a matter of what I talked about a few pods ago. White motherfuckers is cool with you, or Europeans, as you call them, are cool with you as long as they're on the same level with you, as long as they can look down on you,
right?
They can look side and see you, but you know what they don't want to see? They don't want to see you in front of them, and they don't want to see you above them. So that's going to be the toughest part of it, because there are people who believe that's money that was not earned by us. I wasn't a slave. My grandmother wasn't.
That bullshit, yeah.
You know what I mean? All that nonsense. But to look at our communities. And I think about that a lot, man, as the things that we may see on the internet or in the social media, man, compared to the absolute poverty that exists and the ignorance that exists in our communities, which were planned and strategically put in place to hold us down. Being in America, really the only remedy for that is money. Choosing how we spend it. I can't accept to have everybody who gets their money to go ahead and invest in Bitcoin or buy property. People are going to do what they're going to do based upon their spending tolerances. But we do deserve a chance. And I think the one clip in there when the guy talked about free healthcare, free education, taxes, land prioritization, and a check. I think that's fair for us. And hopefully we get a chance to see it, man. I think it will be dope for us.
I agree with both of y'all. I just like to see it happen. For me, y'all know how I move. For me, I'm skeptical because I believe, unfortunately, that brothers would be, oh, you ain't got this, or this ain't your lineage, or it would be too much decisiveness, division, I should say, just amongst ourselves. Yeah, just amongst us. And that's just me. That's just my opinion on the whole thing. It would be a blessing, but
Bro, isn't there already an organization that's already starting that? Saying that you have to be black.
Yeah, you gotta be FBA. You gotta be FBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or ADOS, or however they want to call it.
Right. However they want to coin it or phrase it.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism.
What would that boy do with a check? He probably gonna man, what would he do with a check? He need to get something. He need to finish that damn school.
Yeah, man. Again, man, we as a people, we got a long way to go, and they're not making it no easier for us because they feeding us bad food, they feeding us bad water, and they feeding us bad knowledge. It's not knowledge, it's trick knowledge. Is what they throwing at us. Unfortunately, people are eating it with shovels. You know what I mean, and coming back and spewing it like it's factual. You know what I mean? Before we wrap this up, you got anything you want to say to the people, man?
I just want to talk real quick about scams, right? Remember before I said that we had in Atlanta, you got to have three things.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism.
You said scams.
That's a scam. Yeah,
peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism.
But you got to have a job, a scam, and a hustle in Atlanta. Now, basically, my job is to bust scammers. That's what I do. I make sure they're legally prosecuted and so forth. I mentioned this because a couple of weeks ago, I was on social media and I kept on seeing this thing about Chase. There's a glitch in Chase. And go ahead and we'll deposit $30,000 to your account, and and you'll get the cash, and you got to send me $15,000 back. And people, it was running wild on the internet. And every time I saw the post, I would put a lot next to it. You know what I mean? So obviously Chase, the world's largest bank, got wind of this very quickly. And now you've got young people running around here, or people just in general, running around here with negative $40,000, negative $30,000, negative $20,000 that they owe the bank, right? Now, there are criminal penalties for it, depending on where you are. Fun fact, the check, there's nothing electronic written into Georgia check laws. So if you do a double deposit, say for instance, I get a check, a physical check, and I upload it to my bank, and then I go to a check cashing spot and cash it, there's no law that I'm violating technically in Georgia. It's a fact. So there's not a lot of criminal things that are going to happen from this, but there are a lot of civil things that are going to happen from this. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be financially impacted for this for quite some time. And I just want to stress again, man, that it's better to be a man of a certain age, to work hard, do something consistently over and over again so that you can enjoy your life, you can build for your family, and you can progress, because it's really not that hard. It's just a matter of getting a good job and having good credit and being a good person. It really will all work out for you. So don't ever think, I just want to let young people know, people who think there's something free out there, remember, despise the free lunch from the 48 Laws of Power. Think about your future. be consistent, be progressive, and stay within the laws. Because most of the time when things are presented to you in a way that they seem like they're going to be free, it's going to cost you more in the long run.
That's peace. Panero, what you got to take us out of here with, man?
Yes, short and sweet from men of a certain age, man. Give yourself some grace. Everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes things have to fall apart for better things to fall into place. That's for men of a certain age to all our nieces and nephews out there.
No doubt.
Man, again, it's always good to build with y'all on this.
Let's go! Can I get a Super Bowl pick? Can I get a Super Bowl pick?
So let me just say, I was telling my man Mick, Friday night was the NFC Championship game. I'm fucked up that my man Jordan Love got hit.
I heard, yeah.
But
what happened? How long is he down for?
They say 3 to 4. They say 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. But I still like that Philly Green Bay NFC championship jump off. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Over in the AFC, man, I'm a die easy Bills fan, man. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm gonna say the Bills. I'm gonna say the Bills and the Texans, and we send your boy Diggs
packing
back to Houston with that L, and the Bills go to the bowl against. I'm going Green Bay and Buffalo, man.
Green Bay and Buffalo. Who you going with? Who you going with, D?
Niners, Bills. 31-28.
Going with the Juice Bowl.
The Chris Berman Bowl. He going with the Chris Berman Bowl.
And then takes a sip out of his mug. I love it. So you got the Niners and the Bills and the
Niners, Bills, 31-28. Wow.
Okay.
This boy
rewind the show.
Philly
and Buffalo. I already know who he got before we go in.
No, I'm gonna give you the joint like you gave it to me. I'm gonna give you the town. ATL, because I think they're going to be excellent this year. In the NFC Championship, against the Dirty Birds. I mean, against the Eagles, Eagles fly, and then we go with the Bills against whoever. You know what I'm saying? Bills against the world. It's going to be the Bills and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I'm going to be the happiest person on the planet, no matter who wins. And the Bills going to bring it home for your boys. And then I can go home to D-Mac's grave. And tell them we did it, damn it.
No doubt.
Let's go.
Can we get to Marv Levy joy before we leave up out of here tonight?
Hold on. Go Bills, we are here to fight for you. There you go.
Let's go, Marv.
Peace until next Sunday, man.
Men of a certain